What is going on, New York Giant fans? Welcome back to another Roster Bubble Series video. Hit the like button if you haven't already, comment, and subscribe. Turn on post notifications so you know when a live stream pops or a video drops. Pre-show coming back. Share this out. Do all of the good stuff. We are talking about Elijah Riley today in this Roster Bubble Series video, but if you guys don't know how these run, we take a player that's on the roster bubble. We talk about their background, their competition, how they could win a spot on the roster, how they lose a spot on the roster, then at the end, the projection. So, we're going to talk about a newer Giant in the building, less than a month old. That is Elijah Riley, or at least at this point, it's less than a month old, I think. But nonetheless, anyway, Elijah Riley, 26 years old, 6'0", 205 pounds. He is a safety. Went to Army, was an undrafted free agent with the Eagles between 20 and 2021. Then went over to the Jets and signed with their practice squad, and then was with them, and then he was released, and then he was with the Steelers between 22 and 23, and then signed with the New York Football Giants. So statistically, let's take a look at it. Starting with the Pittsburgh Steelers last year, 13 games, 1 sack, 12 tackles, 2 for a loss, and 1 quarterback hit. 2022 with the Steelers, 4 games, 5 total tackles. With the Jets and the Philadelphia Eagles, total of 8 games, 7 starts, 1 pass deflection, 1 sack, 45 tackles, 3 tackles for loss, a quarterback hit. And in coverage, let's talk about that as well. 80% completion allowed last year with the Steelers, 118.7 passer rating, 64 yards. The year prior, 50% completion allowed, 56.2 passer rating. And then with the Jets and the Eagles, 157.9 passer rating and 21, 3 touchdowns allowed, 168 yards. That was primarily with the New York Jets. So Elijah Riley, who is he? All this other stuff. We talked about it a little bit in the few seconds, but he is primarily a safety and also a nickel corner. He is not on the outside. He is not fit for that, but he is a nickel defender. He is a special teamer, and he is also a safety. So that's the role he will play if he does make the Giants roster, and that's the role he's going to play in the preseason. Now, he does have a little bit of familiarity with Michael Gobriel, the special teams coach, because they were together with the Jets in 2021, and that's, again, where Elijah Riley does make his bones, because he played 62% of the special team snaps with the Steelers last year, 26 the year prior, and then with the Jets, only a little bit because he played a lot on defense. The Jets' 2021 team was nothing like 22 and 23 with the elite defenses. They were a team that wasn't great. They were a bunch of scrubs. They were trying just to get in the playbook, and they were basically a rebuilding team. They ended up 4-13. But who is Elijah Riley going to be competing with? It's going to be a lot for a guy like Elijah Riley. Darnay Holmes, who plays the slot. Trey Herndon plays the slot. Aaron Robinson plays the slot. And you could argue Robinson and Holmes also play special teams. Stanley Thomas Oliver plays special teams. Hayes, special teams. Alex Johnson, probably special teams and a little bit of corner. Flott, slot, long, slot, and special teams. Trey Herndon, we talked about. Jalen Mills, safety, and Jervarius Owens, safety and special teams. So one thing that's hurt Elijah Riley is also injuries, other than the fact that he hasn't been able to be consistent in terms of production. Now, how can he win? Special teams is going to be the biggest one that sticks out to me, other than versatility. Special teams in terms of blocking punts, blocking kicks, being on the kick return team, being on the punt return team, being on the opposition of both, and trying to block kicks and all that sort of stuff. That's where Elijah Riley is going to have to make his bread. Now, according to Pro Football Reference, he only played 2 special team snaps with the Jets in 2021. So that's going to be a bugaboo if he wants to, make the roster. That's going to be a bugaboo. He's going to need to play more snaps under Gobes. And Gobes, he was assistant, but he wasn't the head special teams coach. It was Brant Boyer. But he's going to need to make his presence known. He's got speed. He's got a lot of speed. Acclimates well to Bowen's system, and versatile. Those are 2 things that also I take away from Elijah Riley, and tackles well versus the run, is being versatile, right? Slot corner is known for not just covering, but playing well versus the run, and I think that Elijah Riley will need to do that because, again, the Giants haven't been great against the run in the last few years, and guaranteed there are other guys that are better than him in the slot, but if he could tackle and just be a role player like a Bobby McCain was last year, that's a way he could find a spot on the roster along with special teams. But I would also like to see, could he cover deep? I don't know the snaps of if he's covered deep in the slot. Mostly, again, it's been in the slot, it's been in the box, and it's on special teams. Not much of deep coverage, but if they ask him to do that and he does it well, that's another pathway on the roster. But if otherwise, then he's sticking to just being versatile in the slot and the box and tackling well versus the run and on special teams. How can he lose? Injuries. I mean, he was injured last year with the Steelers. He was injured the year prior with the Steelers. So that seems to be a bugaboo. Lack of contribution on specials. You don't want it like the Jets in 2021 where he only had 2 snaps. And lack of versatility versus the run and tackling and penalty issues. Those are common stuff in terms of like why DBs lose their spot on the roster. But he's got an uphill battle. He's going to need to fight that. So how can he win? Special teams, acclimates well to Bowen's system, tackles well versus the run, versatile, possible deep coverage snaps. How can he lose? Lack of contribution on specials, lack of versatility versus the run, tackling issues, penalty issues. I have Elijah Riley being cut, but I honestly would not be surprised if he comes back on the practice squad because it seems like a player that does fit Shane Bowen's system, a guy who's a special teamer, fits Gobes, but also plays safety in the box, defends the run in the slot. That's the type of player I think Shane Bowen wants, but I don't think he's going to be a primary star. I think there's going to be a lot of DBs that succeed him for the role, and I think he's going to be on the practice squad. Or he could be on another NFL roster depending on the way he plays. But nonetheless, like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on post notifications so you know when a live stream pops through drops. Appreciate y'all coming back. Peace out, guys. See you later. Stay cool.